Hi, my name is Charvel. I am an actress, a writer, a model, a tarot reader, a social media manager, and so much more. And through it all, I'm also a chronic illness survivor. I've dealt with chronic illness pretty much all my life, but in a really drastic, impactful way since about 13 years old. And I am tired of suffering in silence and having it all bottled up inside, all the pain, all the hurt, all the struggle. And I felt called to share my story. In high school, I was writing a book about it while I was living through it, and I lost it. I don't know where it is. So something told me to start writing again. For the past few years, I've been writing more so for TV and film, but I'm excited to start writing more prose, more essays, with a little bit of touch of poetry to it. And I thought it would be helpful to read them out loud, to share my story on YouTube and wherever else videos are accepted, which is pretty much everywhere. The blogs live on my website, www.thecharvel.com/blog is where you'll find them all. I only have 2 up right now, but I would like to read to you the first post, which I posted on September 14th, called Perpetual Chrysalis. I wake up surrounded by a halo of my own skin particles, some as fine as dust and others obvious chunks of my DNA. My skin feels tight against my cheeks, collarbone, back, knees, ankles, etc. I muster the strength to sit up, get out of bed, and deal with the night's dehydration. A look in the mirror reveals a surface so taut that if I pressed hard enough, it might just crack. Some areas have already split, and so I take my exfoliating gloves and step in the shower to do a dry rub all over, releasing what is left of yesterday's epidermis. I'm still tight and cracked, so some moisturizer is administered to help loosen the rest of the dead skin and coax a new layer to the top while I go about taking my medicine and making breakfast. This is the start of a good morning for me. For 2 decades, I have been a prisoner to my skin, trapped in a casing of unpredictable sensitivity, stuck in a vicious cycle of inflammation, treatment, temporary normalcy, inflammation, repeat. That's 20 years of telling new doctors my story, all of my trials and tribulations, and having to remain cordial after poor attempts of bedside manner leave me feeling hopeless. Atopic dermatitis is what it reads in my medical chart, but really what it is a dead end. An excuse to look no further and just throw steroids, creams, and experimental meds at me. My aunt used to call me her little butterfly. She would say that I was just in my cocoon and I would come out of this time in my life a radiant butterfly. I read that some butterflies remain in their chrysalis for up to 3 years if it's residing in harsh conditions. And I wonder, if I'm 32 and the conditions haven't eased up, will I ever break through? When do I get to drop the charade of hope, forfeit my wings, and just cope with the fact that my best days are behind me? When will the character development be enough for me to finally enjoy this life to the fullest? I don't even want to be a butterfly. I just want to feel at home in my own skin. I wake up after 4 hours of broken sleep, surrounded by a halo of my own skin particles, perhaps some drops of blood, and the sheets showed signs of a restless night's struggle. My skin feels tight, dry. It has split down to my flesh in some crevices, and beneath the surface there's a layer of lava making me radiate heat. I muster the strength to sit up, get out of bed, and deal with the night's dehydration. I avoid looking in the mirror, opening it quickly so it faces the wall, because the sight of myself makes me want to cry, and that's no way to start a day. I take my exfoliating gloves and step in the shower to do a dry rub, being sure to skip over the open wounds, releasing what is left of yesterday's epidermis. A thick ointment is applied if the pain is below a 5, and anything above warrants an immediate soak in a bleach bath. I go about taking my medicine, and when I feel sufficiently okay, I masquerade as fine the remainder of the day. This is the start of a bad morning for me. I've had many bad mornings. I write this to share my story, as a form of therapy and to feel less alone. Even though probably no one will see this, I'm tired of the cycle and I'm ready to enact change, even though most of it will have to be experimental and paid out of pocket. I refuse to be a perpetual chrysalis. I will break through. Thank you.